channel is turned on. Before we give all praises to the Most High God for blessing us with the opportunity, putting the air in our lungs, the words in our mouth. He select me, he protects me. God made the path so the world respects me. You back up in here with your boy Bam Bam Bellion, one of Watt's 3 favorite sons. Your drum major for just us. Because unfortunately, it's just us that don't get no justice. Real talk though, man. But yeah, man, still representing those Eastside R's because the Eastside is ours and we take care of ours, standing 10 toes down on those 10-fold grounds. Representing Eastside Watts, giving shouts out to all 4 corners, to every one of those brothers out there doing that work to try to make this world a little better that we gonna have to leave our children in one day, yeah? But check it out, man. So much going on, man. Too much going on. Heard about some craziness in my neighborhood recently, man, and I don't know what's wrong with these youngsters, man. They want to do all this shooting on camera as though the cameras aren't there, or somehow the cameras just magically not gonna pick them up. But we got more going on, man, all over the country, man, with the shoot scene. The shoot scene has begun. It's crazy, man, super crazy out there, man, but we gonna get off into it, these news reports and everything, so we can get a good understanding on what's, you know? I mean, I don't know, man. I guess my parents' generation felt the same way about our generation. They just didn't get it either. But hey, man, each generation has a responsibility for the condition of the generation after it. Reason why I say that is, man, we have an obligation to do our best to try to make things a little better. And it's like we slipped up with that, you know? Go figure. I don't know, man. I think we got our work cut out for us, and we need to wise up real quick and get to work before it's too late for anything to work. But some real talk, man. We gonna get off into these videos, get our reaction on what's going on. You already know that's where we at. That's what we talk about. That's what we deal with. What's going on, man? So we gotta get off into it, talk about it. Let's try to figure out what we can do to try to straighten it out. Because, hey, it's crazy out there right now. This thing in Chicago, hey, I ain't gonna talk too much about it. I'm gonna let the news folks do the talking. Boom, boom.
A deadly Labor Day weekend in Chicago as President Trump continues to set his eye on the city, threatening to send in the National Guard as early as this week. At least 52 people have been shot in Chicago over the Labor Day weekend. 7 of those victims died.
The violence included 3 mass shootings that happened at Haddon in California, in Chicago's Humboldt Park neighborhood, and 2 in Chicago's Bronzeville neighborhood, 35th and State and 36th and Cottage Grove. ABC 7's Jasmine Miner talked to people in Bronzeville about concerns about 2 mass shootings happening within 48 hours.
Many here in Bronzeville describe the neighborhood as on the come up, and they say they're not going to let the violence stop the positive work they're doing. For one woman, that means keeping kids healthy, active, and on the field.
Come on. We're gonna push through because it disservices the kids.
Alexis Hawthorne, owner of the top-tier university football youth program, says even gun violence won't keep her from serving kids in need. Their practice comes just a few hours and down the road from a mass shooting early this morning. 5 people were shot near 36th and Cottage Grove near Ellis Park, including a 17-year-old who is in critical condition.
At the end of the day, to have one person that was critically injured and 4 folks in the hospital, whatever the situation was, it was senseless.
It is the 2nd mass shooting in Bronzeville in the last 48 hours. The other happened on Saturday night near 35th and State, where 7 people were hurt during a drive-by. Those like Alderman Pat Howe.
Honest to God, I'm just keeping it 400. don't think all these shootings be strictly gangbangers. Just my opinion.
Are taking action, telling ABC7 in a statement, I have long asked for additional police manpower to deal with large illegal gatherings and pop-up parties that routinely occur throughout the Bronzeville neighborhood. It follows Mayor Brandon Johnson signing an executive order this week to avoid the Trump administration from sending the National Guard into the streets of Chicago.
Us as people, we can come together and fix it out on our own. We don't need no one to come here and, wreck shack our...
I beg to differ. Unfortunately, these little skirmishes is just the excuse that they need to push down and drop down a harder hammer. It's coming. I mean, you see it's happening in Washington, and they always talking about Baltimore. Chicago, definitely, it's coming. It's only a matter of time.
Our community.
Others think the troops could help.
I got kids, and I want to see the community better. I run every day out here. I exercise out here. So for the street to be safer, I think it's really good.
But Hawthorne says her
You better be careful with that accent.
football program does just that. Teaching kids a healthier way to have fun.
And programs like this, they don't get a lot of funding, they don't get a lot of support, and it's a good program. The young people need something to keep them occupied. I don't mind as a double workshop.
We're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that these kids have somewhere to come.
Alderman Lamont Robinson tells ABC7 that Chicago police do have one person in custody from the
They got one person in custody. Chi-town, right? 50 people shot. They said 7 to 8 people killed, right? Crazy over the Labor Day weekend. Next video.
Now, a violent morning in South LA. We are on the ground for breaking news in Broadway, Manchester. A deadly shooting. Police believe it could be gang related, and they're trying to figure out if it's connected to 2 other shootings in that same area. NBC4's Brittany Hope has been talking with investigators this morning, and she joins us with the very latest. Brittany.
Hey, good morning, you guys. So we now know that 2 people were shot here early this morning at this strip mall. This is just on the corner of Century and Main. You can see that white tent that is there at this point. The coroner's office still has not shown up, so the body of the 25-year-old who was shot and killed is still here. Now,
My boy Randy, this is my boy Randy's son, man. Yeah. So we know what was going on in L.A., too. Compton had a murder, too. High-speed chase. Deputy was shot. So it's craziness going on in Cali right now.
I want to draw your attention to this maroon sedan. If we're able to walk over a little bit, just if it's safe, we were able to see that there's some large bullet holes on the back of that car and a flat tire. You can see that they are clearly marked with evidence markers. So right now, police are really trying to track down who did this. The only information they have so far, officers believe there were 3 gunmen who got out of a car, shot the 2 people, then drove off. Investigators tell me they're trying to figure out if this is connected to nearby shootings that happened yesterday and on Saturday.
Trying to find some witnesses to give statements.
Witnesses? Y'all got gigantic intervention workers, don't you?
Looking at different video, but we're very early stages in this investigation.
So this shooting in Broadway, Manchester, where I am right now, happened about 10 hours after another shooting, also believed to be tied to gangs, less than 2 miles away at another strip mall on Manchester and Figueroa. So you're looking at video right now from that investigation yesterday. Police say a woman and 4 men were standing outside a strip mall where they were shot. 2 of them are in critical condition. So in that case, police think the gunmen drove up, shot the group, and took off. And minutes later, deputies were then shot at by vehicles that were zooming by kind of just south of that crime scene. So a lot of different moving parts here. Again,
Yeah, I believe that those cats was leaving that shooting, gave it to the deputies on their way from leaving. That shooting on Manchester and Fig, the whole thing is on video. The store security camera, whatever it's called, store 7, whatever it's called. That camera picked up the whole thing. It's floating around on the internet right now. I could actually could have pulled that video and tried to put it a part of this, but I don't like showing those kind of videos, right? But yeah, all of these things happening right in the same area, dealing with the same cats, same group, same old dudes that's supposed to be having something to do with the shooting back on the 3rd, you know, with the Hood Day thing. You know what I'm saying? 8 people shot, 2 people didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? So all this stuff is supposed to be tied in together.
The main story is, are all of these situations connected? That is the big question. What we do know for sure, though, as they figure that out, is that city leaders and police are really concerned about gang violence and tensions that are happening right now in South LA that seem to have started bubbling up on Saturday.
This is testimony that the gang interventionists either need a hell of a lot more resources and need support from the community, and they need some they really not trying to be like that, but doing a very good job. Just keeping it 400, man. And interventionists are supposed to be preventionists, man. This shouldn't be happening.
Night when there was another shooting. So they say they're sending more resources here. The mayor says that she's sending community advocates to this area to try to tamper down violence.
Community advocates. It's another word for gang interventionists. These cats don't know what they're doing, or they're not who they say they are in the streets. With their influence must be minute or non-existent. As far as I'm concerned, but you got a bunch of cats out here, man. All these organizations getting these dollars, getting this grid money and grid funding and grants and grants and grants. Where's the proof in the pudding, man? Where's the fruits of your work? What have you been doing with the funding you've been getting to see to it you had the network of communication to make sure things like this don't happen, because people are on those phones already? And you heard what? Yeah, man. Hey, we need to meet up right now. Like, we gotta get on this right now, dude, because these dudes think such and such, and we gotta stop them. Man, been there, done that personally.
Violence and tensions so that the violence here stops. Reporting live in South LA, Brittany Hope for Today in LA.
Welcome back. This morning we're learning more about the horrific shooting that killed 2 children. Of course, we got Indianapolis. A lot more than came out about this one. Yeah. Let's get into it. Children at a Catholic school in Minneapolis this week.
Fox News obtaining a search warrant detailing what investigators learned about the suspected shooter, including that he recently went through a breakup and that officials seized a tactical vest from his...
You dumb son of a bitch! He recently went through a breakup. Are y'all serious? What the fuck did... Watch your language here.
Father's home.
Police say they have also spoken with the shooter's mother, who has apparently hired a criminal defense attorney. Let's bring in former congressman and host of the Saturday Night in America, Trey Gowdy. So great to see you this morning, Trey. You longtime prosecutor, you know your way around a search warrant. Was there anything in this search warrant that was surprising, or did it tell any special story to you about what's going on with the investigation?
It kind of screamed notice to me, either actual or constructive notice. I mean, I don't know how you go through life glamorizing serial killers and expressing your disdain for the most innocent among us, children, and nobody takes notice.
Right.
So the reason the mother...
And he got a hell of a point right there. Hell of a point.
...hired a criminal defense attorney is because of the Crumley parents. I mean,
I find myself saying the same thing about these Vatos Locos essays forever. Because a lot of these essays have becoming the so-called work with blacks on community and issues in the communities in the neighborhoods. A lot of them, y'all related to these essays as in the penitentiary, stabbing us, shaking us up, refusing to talk to us. Don't sit with us. Don't eat with us. Y'all related to these little dudes on the street that call themselves busting on blacks and trying to move us out of the community. But y'all get in our face and be like, you know, man, I want to work with us, man, and our people shouldn't be, and you know, we're all in the same thing, man. Everybody wants the solidarity when they need support for something. Where's that solidarity in that penitentiary? Where's that solidarity in the avenues, East LA, Compton, Long Beach, San Pedro, Whittier?
The Crumbley parents knew or should have known that their child was going to go kill classmates. I don't know the facts in this case, but when you start holding parents responsible, not generically, not strict liability, but if you have actual or constructive notice that your child is troubled and you still allow firearms around them, or you don't notify the police, there need to be consequences for that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I've always thought, Trey, that we needed to know more, starting from Columbine on through, more from the parents, and not in even like a blaming, shaming way, but what could we learn from these families and these, dynamics and the mental health and the medicine that they've given their kids, the psychotropic drugs, whatever it is, the games, the video games, whatever it is. I just feel like there's been sort of like this taboo, like don't blame the parents or that respect their privacy. But in the end, we all suffer when we don't learn what's behind this.
I think parents, you know, and Rachel, I mean, you and Sean have closing in on a dozen children. So, I mean, we're all parents. We have a mutual obligation to one another to protect our children, raise good citizens, but also protect the most fundamental right of every other parent, which is to watch their child have their 11th birthday. So if we could go back in time, I wonder if these parents would do anything different. I mean, you got two dead kids, you got other kids in critical condition. What would you do differently? And if morality doesn't motivate you to do it, Rachel, then sometimes the law has to step in and say there's going to be a consequence if you have actual or constructive notice and you don't let.
Real talk. Honest to God, I see why his mom's like lawyered up and everything. She don't want to answer no questions because she was like, I need to take my fifth on this one because anything I say can be used against me in a court of law. And I'll mess around and slip up and let them know that I knew my son was cracked and had many issues and knew he had these guns, and I done read his manifesto and I knew what he was saying and I knew what he was plotting. She don't want to slip up and say that, so she need a lawyer to be there to say, shut up, don't answer that. It's real talk. How you don't know nothing about nothing? You living with this person. Man. Don't buy it.
Someone know.
Trey, we'd be remiss not to bring this up. I'm excited. You gave me a copy on Thursday, I think it was. You've got a new book out, The Color of Death. It's a novel. Tell us about it. This is a fiction book. And for those that haven't written a book before, a lot harder and a lot more talent to write a fiction book than to document what has happened in the world. Tell us about it.
Well, Joey, my background is not nearly as courageous or distinguished as yours, but I was a homicide prosecutor, and I want people, I mean, we're talking about...
Yeah, I done seen dude on Forensic Files. He ain't no joke, man. Let's get to the next video, though.
This tragedy is, again, sparking a push for something to change. Leaders and activists...
Said in many other videos that I did covering these shooters that been going on, they're gonna start talking about gun control. You know, they want to create new laws to restrict you with your firearm. The problem with new laws is that you're dealing with outlaws. Outlaws don't care.
Renewed calls for gun control today. Esme Murphy joins us now with more of that. And it happens every time there is a shooting, too.
It does happen every time there is a shooting, Amelia. And the group said they know for years these kinds of efforts have happened and gone nowhere after other mass shootings. But they believe this time, after Annunciation, things will be different.
We need a statewide and a federal ban on assault weapons.
Mayor Jacob Fry led the call for the weapons ban.
Crazy thing about Mayor Jacob Fry, Minnesota got some of the strictest gun laws in America, bro. Just like Chicago, just like LA. You know, you understand? LA is like basically your self-defense don't exist in LA. The rule is to run, hide, and fight. Fight after you ran and hid if they locate you in your hiding place, then you're allowed to fight back. Listen to that. How crazy does that sound? You're forcing the brothers, the law-abiding people, to have to fight, run, then hide from y'all motherfucking ass. On some real shit. The states with the strictest gun laws got the most gun violence, man. Look into the numbers. Check out the math. Look into the numbers of the states that have the open carry and right to conceal carry and permits to carry. Check out their numbers and their violence, and then check out these states where they tell you no matter what, we don't want you carrying no gun.
A ban on high-capacity magazines.
Just keeping it 400, man. I messed this up. Let's go back. Bam.
Amelia, and the group said they know for years these kinds of efforts have happened and gone nowhere after other mass shootings, but they believe this time, after Annunciation, things will be different.
We need a statewide and a federal ban on assault weapons.
Mayor Jacob Fry led the call for the weapons ban and a ban on high-capacity magazines.
So the next go-round, there's not another city 2 months from now that is saying the same damn thing. Let's stop this from happening.
In the minds of many here, these images of weapons and magazines the shooter had posted online remain. Several speakers spoke of the fact that the U.S. from 1994 to 2004 did have an assault weapons ban, a ban that was allowed to expire.
Get these weapons of war off our streets and out of our communities. Our kids cannot wait any longer.
In the past few years, Minnesota has passed tougher gun control laws, including a red flag law and expanded background checks. Other attempts to pass other laws have not succeeded. Speaker after speaker referred to the tragedy that unfolded at Annunciation and said this is something Americans and Minnesotans can change.
This is something that is simple, a simple ban to make sure people who should not have access to these weapons do not get them.
Now,
ban on the weapon will not change people from having access. You got to come with something other than that.
Not everyone feels this way. We reached out to the gun rights advocacy group, Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus.
Pay attention to the statement that the gun owners rights advocacy group, white supremacists, pay attention to what they're going to say.
They say they oppose any ban on commonly owned semi-automatic firearms and standard capacity magazines. Such proposals, they say, are unconstitutional and do nothing to reduce crime. Amelia, that group went on to say what is needed are more mental health resources in our schools.
How about both?
Whoa, damn to both. The gun advocacy group is right. This was a crazy person who should have never been allowed to buy firearms the way I see it. Tell you the truth, any of you people that are suffering from sexual delusion, I don't think you should own a firearm because you're dealing with some kind of a psychological problem. Just my opinion. You understand? Because when you get right down to it, so everybody that does these things, the first thing they say is, "Oh, he was crazy. He was mentally ill. He should not have been able to own a weapon." Somehow he was able to own a weapon. But yeah, man. Why y'all not talking more about that part? Nobody wants to talk about that. Now, I don't like Ben Shapiro. I don't. Tal Yehudi, Tal Mamzir, Tal Shaitan, on reckon. But I do agree with the devil on some of the things that he says. And let's check out him right quick on some of the things that he says, you know, because they say gun control is the answer. Gun control, gun control, gun control. Gun control. Let's flip the words around. Control your gun. An inanimate object cannot control you or itself. You control your gun. You understand? It goes back to the old neighborhood thing. When I was growing up, youngster, growing up in the banging days in the 80s, everybody couldn't have a pistol. Everybody couldn't have a gun. Even if you could afford one, even if you went and got your own. If the hood didn't think you were responsible enough, or the hood didn't think that you was old enough, or the hood figured you would mess around and be done shot yourself or your mama or something, they would take that gun from you. And it'll become community property. You understand? Everybody wasn't allowed to just have a gun just because you was able to get one. And that's one of the things that's wrong with these streets right now. These neighborhoods don't got no respect amongst itself, no order. Like Cam was talking earlier, where are all those rules at? Where are all those regulations? Where all that street code? You got gay gangbangers. You got dudes snitching on their crimies. You got dudes killing their own homies. Where's all that code at? Is that part of code? Because people choose when they're going to be with the code and when they not. Me personally, when I start seeing dudes neighborhood after neighborhood killing their own homies and other homies just going along with it, not killing their own homie because he did something that, the hood couldn't handle, had to discipline him on a fatal level over. Nah, I'm talking about dudes killing dudes over bullshit from the same neighborhood, and the whole hood just standing there and saying, well, that was between them. Nothing made me so proud to not be done bang no neighborhoods than that right there, seeing when neighborhoods hit that point. Keep in mind, I come from a time where bloods did not bang or kill each other at all. I know you youngsters probably find that alien, but when I was growing up in the 80s, early 80s, late 70s, bloods did not bang on each other. They did not kill each other, period. All bloods got along, period. It was cold back then. They had something called blood love back then. And y'all don't even hear that term used no more. But it was blood love back then. And I done seen dudes really show each other love from different blood neighborhoods on that level. I seen that because I grew up on the red side of town. But the thing about it is, it's been a long time since blood love, man. Bloods don't love each other no more, man. And then you get to these neighborhoods, and every one of these neighborhoods got a bit of that cancer where they done knocked off their own self homies, man. And everybody stood by and just watched good dudes, some of the best dudes from their neighborhoods, get killed by their own self homies and just, well, man, that was between them, man. I can stand by and watch one of my homies kill the other. I'm not gonna watch y'all argue with pistols in y'all hands. I ain't gonna, nah, man. If I love y'all, I can't, nah, because what's stopping one of y'all from shooting the other? I don't want to see neither one of y'all die. But that's where the codes at. There ain't no codes. Look at these streets, man. Where the codes at? There ain't no codes.
Meanwhile, Democrats jumped to do the stupidest possible thing here, which is to rip on thoughts and prayers, which, again, as a religious person, prayer is not designed to make God come down and stop school shootings. That is not what prayer does. No one religious believes that when you pray, that God is somehow going to stop evil people from doing evil things. That is not what prayer is for. But because Democrats believe that government is God, they believe that when people pray, what they mean is that they don't want government to do anything, or they really should be directing their prayers at government where they can get a response or whatever. And so they end up in the bizarre position after a murder during mass of saying that thoughts and prayers are useless, which, again, incredible. Thoughts and prayers, particularly prayers, are meant to uplift the hearts of the people who are suffering. It is meant to give parents who are suffering the understanding that other human beings are with them and care about them.
In this case, the devil is right. Up pop the devil. Up pop the devil.
And that they're part of a broader whole. And that God cares about them even in their pain. That is the meaning of what prayer is about in these situations.
Up pop the devil in the white nightgown.
But instead what we get is a bunch of lectures about how prayer is useless from Jacob Fry, who's busily defending the feelings of the trans community after a trans shooter murders Catholic school kids. Here's Jacob Fry going after thoughts and prayers.
These were Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church.
Okay, I promise you, if this had been a shooting at a mosque, he would not be out there ripping thoughts and prayers, particularly from Muslims. I mean, remember, this is the same Jacob Fry.
I think the devil's right about that, too. It's so strange when the devil says something that's actually true because devil means liar, and this dude is a devil because I done heard him lie plenty of times. But right now, the devil is a liar. But up pop the devil. He's not lying about this. That's the thing about the devil. They use guile as well, so they know the truth, and they are aware fully of what the truth is. But it's just they gotta be a devil.
Fry, who was kneeling and supposedly emotional at the casket of George Floyd.
Yeah, the devil ain't happy about that. You see the look on the casket of George Floyd. You see where he shook his head when he said George Floyd, because he's been advocating for that officer that kneeled on George Floyd's neck to be released since Trump took office, telling Trump that he needs to pardon him. You understand? Because he done got his ass whipped up in there and all that. Shouts out to that. Say, homies, I took care of that. Hey man, I love my primos. That's my primos. You understand? You know what I mean? I like, hey, shouts out to the ones that been smacking up the old boy for doing Nipsey like that. You know what I'm saying? He need that too. You know what I'm saying? He been getting that work. He need that work, man. He relieve the community of a valuable resource, dog. You understand? Not my people, not from my tribe. Nonetheless, was trying to bless God's chosen. And I said he gonna bless those who bless his children. He's gonna curse those who curse his children. But yeah, man, my boy Ben, man, he don't like George Floyd, and he don't like that the man like he was getting emotional at the casket.
I mean, that looks like some thoughts and prayers happening right there. No? And meanwhile, Jen Psaki over on
low-key hypocritical. Yeah, low-key.
MSNBC, she tweeted out that, and again, this has become sort of the rote, repeated slogan. Prayer is not freaking enough. Prayers does not end school shootings. Prayers do not make parents feel safe sending their kids to school. Prayer does not bring these kids back. Enough with the thoughts and prayers. That is not what prayer is meant to do.
No, prayer ain't supposed to do none of that. Y'all supposed to have armed responders at these schools since these things have been happening in the United Snakes of Amnesia for some time now. Y'all don't want to spend the money, huh? Don't want to pay for the bodies that may have to come between a shooter and these precious children, huh? That makes no sense. That's like not being willing to spend money on a helmet. How much that helmet costs? Does it really matter? It's to protect your head. And how much that security gonna cost? Does it really matter? It's to protect your kids. As a security professional for over 30 years, I find myself saying, hey, your infrastructure is supposed to be the most important thing to you. You need first responders. Police are not first responders. Fire departments and EMTs are not first responders. Security officers are first responders. Put them in place. Make sure they're armed. See to it that they have first aid training and all of that in case any of these emergencies go down. But see, that's going to cost you money. And nobody wants to spend no money. And my thing is, I know they say these are private schools and blah, 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 blah. The state should be paying for this. And if they don't want to pay for armed security, that's really stupid on their behalf, because nothing stops a shooter except someone returning fire. I promise you.
That is not what prayer is meant to do. Nobody is suggesting that's what it's meant. But by the way, she knows that. Back in 2017, after the congressional baseball shooting, she tweeted out, "Thoughts and prayers with Steve Scalise, an officer shot. And thanking members Hill staffers for your public service." Jen Psaki then went on MSNBC and repeated the point.
Sorry, this is a tough one. Having your child killed while they are sitting in a pew for a morning prayer service is not what any parent should have to worry about. And I have felt a mixture of anger and a lot of anger and emotional exhaustion about this today, as I'm sure many of you have, because we have been here so many times. And yet again, like clockwork, half the politicians in our country have little more to offer than thoughts and prayers. That is all they are offering. Join all of us in praying for the victims, was Vice President J.D. Vance's response today. That's what he said. That's it. Please join me in praying for everyone involved, Trump wrote. We have seen this play out over and over again. There is a shooting, then come the thoughts and prayers, and then comes the attempt to shift the focus. This is what always happens.
To shift the focus to what? Okay, let's talk about some of the solutions. So first of all, this is the game that Democrats like to play. It's the do something game. shouting at the wind, do something. And then they recommend invariably some sort of quote unquote solution that doesn't even remotely solve the problem. So they'll do something like claim that if we have an assault weapons ban, that will stop school shootings. It will not. They claim that if you...
Pops the devil. Once again, he's right. You can ban guns you can ban assault weapons all day. It's not going to stop school shootings. No, not going to stop nothing, promise you.
The law-abiding gun owner are removed of your Second Amendment rights, then magically school shootings will be stopped. That of course, is untrue.
Once again, the devil is right. You can tell that'll just, if anything, I think it'll make school shootings increase.
And then they reject actual, real solutions. I've been saying for literally years that we should protect our kids the way that we protect our banks. It is an unfortunate reality that there are evil people who target children. This is why Jewish day schools, which have been long targeted for literally decades by people who don't like Jews, this is why security at Jewish day schools is a massive cost, a huge, huge cost. Multiple security guards all around campus, gates and fences and cameras and armed security guards.
Atalo Yehudi, Atal Mamzir, Tashatan, but he's right again. You already said armed security personnel. It's going to cost. But either you want to protect your children or you don't. Like I said, it's like paying for a helmet. Yeah, how much it costs? It's to protect your head, you idiot. It doesn't really matter what it costs. It's to protect your children, idiot. It doesn't really matter what it costs. My God, man, some things are just no-brainers.
If that's what it takes to protect kids, then that's what we should have. And magical thinking about snapping your fingers and all the guns disappearing is not a solution. It's not even remotely a solution. But again, the goal for Democrats is to posture on the basis of this. That's what Gavin Newsom in California is doing. He tweeted out that this is sick. He said, we cannot even make it through the first week of school without mass shootings, and the GOP will continue to do absolutely nothing while our kids are being gunned down. This is sick. And then you have Ilhan Omar, who, again, but all these people are proponents of the Omni cause in broad, saying the same thing on MSNBC.
You know, in Minnesota, we have strong gun laws, but Indiana is not that far away from us. And so we have to recognize, as, you know, people who live in the United States, you know, a community like Minneapolis or just the state of Minnesota taking action does not prevent our neighbor from coming and harming one of our community members. And so we have to collectively think of ourselves as people who collectively reside in this country, who are impacted by the decisions that are, the lack of decisions or decisions that are made in different states, because we are in one country, and so there has to be federal laws that are introduced that safeguard life in this country. You know, Simone said something earlier.
Yeah, come with the federal law that say you can take your firearm if you have a permit to any state, long as you have your permit. Perhaps somebody will be in the right place at the right time to stop one of these situations, man. Because most states are, California is tricky as hell, but most states, if you discharge your firearm to stop someone who is firing a firearm at someone else, they're not going to be prosecuted for that. They have what they call Good Samaritan laws and things like that that protect you in these situations. But yeah, man, these people are crazy. First and only thing they talk about is we need to ban the guns. We need to ban the guns. What are we going to do? What are you going to do? I was curious myself. You say you gonna ban the guns? Is that what my boy Puffy say? Is that what's hot on the street? That's what's crack-a-lacking? Because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, man. These YT people not giving up their guns, man. No matter what you say, talk your ass off. But nah, man, a whole lot of shootings, man, they're going on all over the country, man. Not quite sure what's going on, and like I said, I don't know, because sometime if you watch the movie Judge Dredd, the crooked justice who broke out the Rico character said he wanted chaos on the street because he figured if enough violence was happening on the street, he could convince the rest of the judges on the council to reinitiate the Genesis Project and start cloning judges. The Genesis Project, Genesis, whatever the Project Genesis, whatever the hell it was called. But the thing about it is the plan was pretty sound. I unleash a psychotic killer on the street who does so much killing and chaos on the streets that everybody starts saying, hey, we need to figure out something fast. That's kind of like what happened in Judge Dredd too. I mean, Demolition Man. Damn, those both Sylvester Stallone movies, but kind of the same thing. When he let old boy out to kill Edgar Friendly, when he released Wesley Snipes' character, Simon Phoenix. But yeah, man, same thing. The powers that be, the establishment, was seeing to it that chaos was on the streets because they wanted to initiate new laws. Outlaws are outside of the law. They don't care about your laws. That's why they call outlaws. If you watch the movie Judge Dredd, he said the same judge who broke out RICO said we need to legislate new laws. I'm paraphrasing. We need to create new laws to prosecute people. And what he said, he basically wanted to prosecute people with the death penalty for lesser crimes because the city was overpopulated anyway. He was like, this is a good way to deal with population control. And it'll make our power and our dominance over the citizens of the establishment. It'll make that more sound because they'll see, look, hey, they're not playing. They killing for jaywalking right now. But no, this is real talk, man. This is these movies, dude. They be joking, but they don't be playing, if you know what I mean. And I'm just keeping it 400, man. Just my thoughts. Hey, man, y'all let me know what y'all think about this stuff, man. Hit it up in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, man. Share it to your partners. Follow us on all the platforms. All the links to all our different platforms are in the description box, man. Shout out to the content creators. Thank you for your help. We appreciate you, man. We're giving all praise to the Most High God. Before we cut up out of here, man, know that I love you to death and love you to life, man. It's your boy Bam Bam Belly Young, one of Watt's favorite sons. Love you to death, love you to life, 360 degrees. We live to die, we die to live again, 360 degrees. Comprehend, whether it be here in the kingdom, I'ma see y'all again, one kind of way or another. And shouts out to all my beloved throughout the Watts, throughout all my family, throughout the whole city of LA, throughout the whole United Snakes of Amnesia. Just doing my part, man. So much to do, so little time, man, but we gonna do our part, right? What choice do we have? If you don't do your part, don't complain. Like my teacher T. Rogers said, don't give criticism if you don't have no advice. You know what I'm saying? Don't complain about the condition if you are doing nothing. Your complaints are for nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing but piss somebody off. Sound like Huffer off the Transformers, man. You know, some real talk, man. No, nobody needs that brainy Smurf, dude. You know what I'm saying? We got real issues out here, and we need real solutions, man. And the crazy part is, y'all devils gonna have to come with some MOUs or something that work with the real cats in the street. Cause the people y'all got, apparently they're ineffective in the wide, at least as far as it goes for LA. You know, understand what I'm saying? And I ain't saying that they're ineffective, but man, I'm just saying we might need to bring in up-to-date team. Up-to-date tactics. What pisses me off is they got all this money for these for the destruction of black organizations, but now that we need help in these ghettos to deal with a problem and a condition that was generated because of what was done to the organizations that existed before this problem existed, all of a sudden there's no funding now. There's no money. That's what the Bible speak of, man. Hey, man, love y'all to death, love y'all to life, man. Getting up out of here, man. Giving all praises to the Most High God, man. And we do so in the name of the one who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, man. Until I see y'all tomorrow. God select me, he protects me. God makes the path so the world respects me. Shouts out to the grand verbalizer, Brother Jay. 0 to 12, grandest creator. I pray for them, both sides of the equator. How about Yahweh? When will they learn? My people are in love with Babylon. They fuck around and burn. Shouts out to my beloved, man. See y'all next time. Until